My favorite part of the day is the morning, and mostly because of this beautiful black gold in this cup. And there's nothing like a cup of coffee outside. In fact, I think that's why I go outside, is so that I can just enjoy my coffee in different places. And just like there's many ways to experience the outdoors, from an RV to backpacking to a lovely campground with some friends, there are tons of ways to make a good cup of coffee. And today we're gonna go over my favorite ways and maybe not so favorite ways, no matter how you're experiencing the outdoors. Damn, that's good. First things first, let's talk about a jet boil. And you're like, John, we're talking about a jet boil again? Yes, yes. Don't worry, I'll have some more interesting ways to make coffee later on in this video. For now, we gotta get old tried and trusty out of the way. And that's what this thing is, tried and trusty. And this is my favorite way to make coffee when backpacking. Obviously, for the size. This is the Jet Boil Mini. As you can see here, it comes with these parts, fuel not included. But obviously the best part about a jet boil, besides its size and weight, is the fact that it's multi-use. You can use it for cooking, for rehydrating your food. The jet boil turns into a French press with this simple accessory. It is just a French press, a French press plunger. There are different sizes to the jet boil, from this smaller size to a much larger size to a regular size. I do like this smaller size, just obviously for the size. There are some setbacks and some drawbacks. The burner does not have that piezo lighter. You're gonna have to light this manually, which honestly is fine with me because I've had the regular size jet boil and that piezo lighter. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, you know what I'm talking about. It goes click, 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 and this thing lights. This one, you actually have to use a lighter to light, but those piezo lighters, or however you call them, they go bad pretty quick. And for as long as I've had this, it's just gonna go bad. So not having that is not a big deal. But the real big thing that I didn't like, and kind of a design flaw, is this French press attachment. They only make in one size. And you can see with the Mini, if I put this all the way down and this like that, that's the other thing about the jet boil that I love, how versatile it is. It's also your cup, so you don't have to bring like an extra cup or anything for your coffee. But you can see this little guy right here. It's gonna hit you in the nose if you try to drink with that in. So that kind of bugged me for a bit, but now there we go. And the plunger is still down in the bottom, and it's not that hard to reattach and pull it out. You get it. So the jet boil for backpacking, for when you want to be light on the go. So obviously not all of you backpack. A lot of you probably have families, kids, you like to go camping. So for my next way to make coffee, we're gonna talk about the percolator. Percolator, I don't know. This baby is great for making coffee for larger groups, like around camp, and it's super versatile with its fuel source. You can use a fire or a burner. We love using this thing in the RV. Obviously, we don't have electricity all the time, but we always have propane, and we're always able to use our stovetop burner. And instead of having to boil water and then add it to another, a French press, this is just all in one. The water goes in here, the coffee goes in here, you set it on the burner, and after 10 minutes, it's done. That is a constant theme of mine, whether it's the jet boil or this percolator. I don't like having multiple items that I have to bring to make coffee. I like making a good cup of coffee with just one item. When it's all in one like this, I just love that. I love the ease of use of things. I don't want to be sitting there messing with my coffee all morning. I just want to set it, I want it done, and I want to go. So this thing for the RV, let me show you how it works real quick. So I'm no brewmaster, so the science behind this is kind of baffling to me. But basically, the water boils, steam rises, it starts soaking the coffee, and then the coffee starts dripping down, condensation and whatnot. So this is what is inside the percolator. This is where your coffee will go. You'll just use a coffee filter. These are real cheap and easy to find. Coffee filter just goes inside the coffee holder, and you put the lid on, you put it in on its little stand in here at the top. You're gonna close it. There's this little glass ball on the top of the percolator. So once you fill it with water, once you get the heat going, you're gonna watch for this little glass piece to start condensating. You're gonna look for that condensation. Once that condensation starts, your timer will start. And between 7 and 10 minutes, your coffee is gonna be done. 7 if you want, you know, not as strong of a cup, and 10 if you want it super strong. Pushing 10, you're gonna start getting a bitter cup of coffee. If you don't have a propane fuel source, you can obviously use wood. We use these on the rivers a lot. That is a percolator. And as a bonus, this thing costs about $29 with the filters and everything. So out of all the items we're talking today, this is definitely the cheapest. Super easy. Okay, I don't even know where to start with this one. I told you at the beginning of this video we were going to look at a more interesting way to make coffee by the end of this video. And boy, is this an interesting way to make coffee. Albeit, it might be a little too interesting. This is the pour over kit by Canadian company VSSL. I'm not sure how to pronounce their name. It is VSSL. And honestly, I'm not quite sure who this is for. They market it for travelers and people outside. And I feel like I'm someone who likes to be outside and likes to travel. And I do love coffee. I don't know if I love it enough to bust this thing out every time, especially at the price point this is at, which I will let you know in a second. But let me just show you how it works real quick. The first thing we have is our little coffee grinder. This is a sweet coffee grinder. I know some people are really into the grind. It's all in the grind. And you can adjust the grind here on the bottom with this little knobby lever thing. For a pour over, I guess you want it at like 6 or something like that. I learned a lot about coffee using this. For like a French press or a pour over, you want a little bit of a coarser grind. And then for something like an espresso, right, you want a really fine grind. You can keep your beans in the base here, and then you just pop the top, throw your beans in here, put it all back together, twist, hand crank, grind up your beans. This little twisty knob head thing comes off, comes on. You can screw this back on. You can do all sorts of fun things with this grinder. It's, you know, really slick. I get it. It's cool. It's cool to look at. It's cool to play with. The grinder itself costs $160. So how cool is it? I'm not sure. So once you got your grounds all ready to go, you got your beads all ready, you got to come to this tubular module thingy here. And let's see, let's twist this apart. Oh, fuck. All right, so here, it's just a holder, or it can be used as a second cup, I guess. Oh, look, there's a second cup. Man, there's just so much to this thing. This thing holds your beans, or it can hold your filter here that's gonna be used for the pour over. This is like a Russian doll, which I guess is fun, but there is a part for your pour over right there. And you'll just twist that onto your cup. Here is another cup, so there's a second cup with a lid. 2 cups, only 1 lid. So obviously you'll put your filter into the pour over section, and then you need some hot water. And this is my least favorite part of this thing and the biggest flaw with it. After you've packed all this stuff, wherever you're going, wherever you're traveling, you're going to need a way to boil some water, which is a whole separate thing. So if you have this, you're going to need your jet boil anyways. So if you're like me and you took this thing backpacking with you, you're gonna have to take your jet boil anyways, because the only way to boil water is with your jet boil. You can't boil it with this whole thing. There's no need to have 2 cups to this setup. I know it's nice and whatever, but you only have 1 lid. Why don't you make one of these cups a pot or something that can boil water in, and then add a little pocket rocket to it that it'll sit on, right? And sure, you'll have to take a propane fuel can, but you won't have to take a whole nother jet boil that in itself can make coffee. So another thing I learned about coffee is after you boil your water, you want to wait 30 seconds before you pour it into your French press or you pour it into your pour over or anything like that. Boiling water is too hot and it burns the coffee and yada, yada, yada. So something I'm trying to get better at. Usually I just pour the damn water and get on with my day. But wait 30 seconds, pour your little pour over kit, and once you have that, you'll have a cup of coffee. You can throw the lid on, and now you have a filter full of coffee grounds that you somehow need to clean, and then you're going to have to reboil the water if you want to make a second cup to use this second cup. This whole kit costs $225 as well, and yeah. Well, there you have it. A few different ways to make coffee outside. Cheers to you all. There's some more gear reviews up here, some hikes over here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.